A system built on perfection, broken by pursuit. A review of Gattaca by Joshua Jones. Gattaca, filmed in 1997, directed and produced by Andrew Niccol. In a future not too distant from our own, the world has unlocked the full potential of eugenics, the ability to alter genetic code before birth. This has split society into the naturally born invalids and the genetically altered valid. This story focuses on Vincent Freeman, an invalid who has determined to have numerous genetic predispositions and health problems and has a life expectancy of less than 31 years. Despite legislation passed to the contrary, invalids are discriminated against, relegated to a life of lower-end jobs with little pay. Vincent dreams of a job with Gattaca to explore space, but his status as an invalid keeps him grounded in a janitorial role. Determined to prove society and his family that invalids are truly just as valid, he embarks on one of the greatest cons of his time. Vincent enlists the assistance of former Olympian Jerome Morrill, a valid with the opposite perspective of the societal dynamic, in breaking into the world of the valids. Vincent must hack society's genetic gatekeeping by becoming Jerome and removing every hair and skin cell that could reveal the truth. All goes according to plan until one of Vincent's co-workers is murdered and one of his hairs is found at the scene. Vincent has but a few days until his dream is fulfilled and he takes off into space, but detectives Joseph and Hugo are hot on his heels. Can he keep up appearances until the final countdown? Can he prove he was always capable of everything a valid is capable of? Are the perfected truly perfect? Sci-fi elements and semantics. Sci-fi tropes. Designer babies. In Gattaca, the film depicts that parents can choose what traits their child will have from birth. This will weed out any undesirable or recessive genes right from the get-go. Vincent is naturally born, while his brother Anton is genetically designed. This, of course, splits society into the world of Gattaca, and it features where eugenics is common more than natural births. The designer babies, called valids, are better, faster, and stronger than their natural-born kin, and as such, they are given preferential treatment. Semantic elements. Discrimination. Natural-born people are second-class citizens compared to those who are designed through eugenics. Individual drive. Vincent Freeman, a naturally born human, is relegated to a second-class life, while he dreams of something more. He is determined to prove society as well as himself is wrong in the manner of his birth. Recurring plot elements. Metaphors. Skin and hair cells are representative of humans in the world of Gattaca. By removing the outer superficial layer, Vincent then becomes Jerome. Water is purification, as Vincent in the shower scrubs himself raw to remove this outer shell so that he can become Jerome. Trash is also seen in piles or being pushed around, representing the second-class status of the invalids in the society. Allegories. Drive to grow and develop as a human, overcoming any obstacles. Freeman was born into a world that sees him as inferior and fragile. His intensity to prove everyone, especially the system, wrong allows him to accomplish incredible feats. Drive and determination outweigh gene perfection. Vincent rises through the ranks of Gattaca despite being an invalid. His peers and managers, blind to this bias, don't realize that Vincent's success actually breaks their perfect system. Finally, ideologies. Faith-based medicine, as children being born in the world without gene sequencing, invalids are marked with a cross while valids bear the infinity symbol. This separates the old world ideals from the modern age. Perfection through alteration. Humans naturally are seen as flawed, and the man in the world of Gattaca seeks to perfect the human species through eugenics. Science cannot perfect the human spirit, though. Anton, Vincent's brother, is valid, but despite this, continually loses in competitions to Vincent in life and in athletics. Representations of masculinity and femininity in Gattaca. Masculine. Vincent and his brother, Anton, constantly fight for dominance through masculine competitions from a young age to adulthood. Vincent becomes Jerome, the ultimate valid male, to rise through the ranks of society due to the discrimination against invalids. Feminine traits. Many of Vincent's inferior traits mirror those that are considered feminine. Vincent's growth through the film is very similar to Cinderella's fairy tale, as he is the hidden beauty to be discovered. also a feminine story. The nature of sexuality in the world of Gattaca. Destruction from desire. Procreation through sex is gone. Instead, eugenics is the mode of choice for creating human life. Because of its obsolete nature, sexual lust is seen as kind of an inherent human weakness. Vincent and Irene, one of his co-workers, start a sexual relationship through mutual attraction. Vincent and Irene represent the destruction of the modern utopian society with their cravings for sex, ergo Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. Sex and attraction is a form of power and a manipulation of control. Depictions of race. In the 21st century, humans' prejudice has moved past race. Genetics and the outlook of health are the modern lens of discrimination. Humans have now moved past skin-deep characteristics, but now focus on new, immutable characteristics. While the law says governments and businesses can't discriminate against invalids, this still occurs based on health concerns. This mirrors the period after Jim Crow laws in the southern U.S. schools were integrated and businesses could not deny service based on race, but other workarounds were committed. Class struggle in Gattaca. Classes of society are split between those of natural birth, the invalids, and those who were genetically modified at conception, called valids. Valids are given preferential treatment due to being seen as genetically superior, lacking health concerns or weaknesses. Invalids are second-class citizens that make up the bottom of society, mostly working medium labor, living in slums. Their weaknesses and genetic predispositions cause them to be denied positions of any real authority. Though it is illegal to discriminate against the manner of birth in this world, the elite valids have found a workaround, the use of health concerns as the basis to discriminate for safety concerns. More human than human. Transhumanism and technology in Gattaca. Eugenics is the core technology in this world, choosing what features, strengths, and traits of each child is selecting like a new automobile. Avoiding poor genetic disposition and potential complications later in life is the goal. A more perfect life and a potential of a natural human. Gene scanning through tissue is the way to track and trace natural-born humans from those who are perfected. Skin, hair, and any other trace left behind could show that you were made more than a natural invalid. These tissues become the key for a genetically superior valid to have a better life. Invalid genes get kept from the opportunity regardless of skill. Their planned weakness is like obsolescence. Health predispositions based on genes are tracked. These can be used to keep even a valid from reaching higher achievements if they are predisposed to a health disorder or illness, such as Irene in the movie. Gattaca's legacy in science fiction. Transhumanism is the improvement of the human condition through different forms of scientific discovery, such as eugenics, nanotechnology, and AI. In this world, humans have discovered improving the human condition through genetic testing that allows any deformities and potential health concerns to be identified. This change was not the final piece of the puzzle, as further technologies allowed for parents to design a child that could avoid these imperfections right from the get-go and to make a perfect human. But the human spirit cannot be artificially replicated. Human character strengths are the positive personal abilities beyond the physical and mental that push individuals to successful outcomes. Vincent, naturally born invalid, and his valid brother Anton are the vessels for how we see this class struggle. Vincent has that je ne sais quoi, or the human spirit, and Anton does not. Vincent uses his character strength of human drive to outdo Anton and any of the valids that he accompanies throughout his life. But yet, by entertaining the world of the valids through this falsified identity and rigorous removal of genetic traits, he has grasped power back that was taken from him once society split along those genetic lines. But where are we now? Humans in the real world now face questions about morality in terms of transhumanism. The drive to want to improve the human condition and for the powerful and rich to extend life has us knocking at the door of the world shown in Gattaca. In 2022, a German-based research company, Ectolife, has announced that they have created the first artificial womb. They've also announced that they also have the ability to genetically alter children and remove any pre-existing conditions or negative traits. This one organization is expecting up to 30,000 genetically modified children to be grown per year through this artificial process and under the supervision of the scientists and the parents. Are we truly born imperfect, though? Can perfection be realized through genetics? The early 21st century will bring about many of these conversations, debates, and even legal challenges around genetics. But only about 75 years ago, we saw that genetic uniformity was in a society as one of their core foundations, and it ended up being a position to cleanse those of outside of that vision through discrimination and then through genocide. We all know who that is. Have we learned from our past mistakes? Or are we doomed to make all new ones? Only time will tell.